Jessii Vee, and in today's video it's gonna be a little bit strange because we are talking about claw machines and Annabelle, which I realize is a very strange combination. You don't hear that very often. We're going into the weird history of claw machines, and I'll also be telling a really creepy story about a little girl who went to play with one and saw that one of the prizes was Annabelle. Before I get started though, I just want to talk about an exciting new feature that YouTube just implemented on my channel and a lot of other creators' channels. If you look underneath the video, you will see a thanks button. It's like a thanks with a little $sign beside it. And basically, if you really enjoy my content, if you like the videos I've been making and you want to support this channel so that I can continue doing what I love to do, you can purchase what's called a super thanks. And if you purchase one, you can write a comment to me and it'll be published on the very top of the comment section in this like really pretty bright color. I will be notified of it and I will be replying to every single super thanks comment. So it's totally up to you if you want to do that. I don't want anyone to feel obligated. I thought that I would just explain the new feature so you knew what it was. And this doesn't just go for my channel, it goes for other creators' channels. So any channel that you want to support, this is a really great button. And I promise you, every single person who uses this feature, I will reply to. Alright guys, with that being said, let's jump right into today's video. Let's first talk about claw machines and what exactly they are. A claw machine is a vending machine which operates like an arcade game. Someone who wishes to obtain something from a claw machine must manipulate a hanging claw in an attempt to pick up a prize. If they are successful, the prize will be dropped into a chute, and if they aren't, nothing is won. A basic claw machine is built in the form of a very large clear box with prizes such as plush toys. Typically, a claw machine only runs for a certain period of time, forcing the user to move quickly if he or she wants to get something out of the claw machine. When I was growing up, I saw these machines everywhere and they looked so enticing, but I don't think I've ever used a claw machine before. Comment down below if you have. I just remember like walking by these glass cases and seeing these piles of colorful plushies and I wanted them all. Okay, so let's get into the history of these machines. The first mass-produced claw machines emerged in the US in the 1920s. Players used the controls to swing the shovel in a wide arc to scoop trinkets from a pile of hard candy. And this required a lot of skill, and apparently the game lasted about 3 minutes. Then within a decade, you can find these things called Erie diggers, which were named after the machines used to build the Erie Canal, which they resembled in miniature form. You would see these at bus stops, at train stations, at carnivals, drugstores, even luxury hotels. These things were everywhere. In 1932, the nickel digger was invented. It had an electric motor, shortening the playtime and packing in more paying customers. And as the name suggests, coins, often including silver dollars, filled the machine. Then in 1951, something came out called the Johnson Act, and this really cracked down on gambling. So these claw machines stopped being built, people weren't able to play them. But then in the 1970s, this law was abandoned and so more became available. And nowadays, they look like your usual claw cranes. So let's talk about how these work, because a lot of people believe these games to be rigged. So we're basically being scammed to try and get these toys and plushies. Modern claw machines can be precisely programmed to yield a specific profit on the prizes inside. They come with instruction manuals that allow the owners to adjust the grip strength of the claw. That means that any given claw will only grip at full strength occasionally once every 23 plays. So basically, if you want to become an owner of these claw machines, you buy one or rent one, you fill it yourself with plushies, and you can program it to tell it how strong you want the grip strength to be. So you basically decide whether you want to scam people or not, if that makes sense. Like, do you want it to work at 100% or do you want it to work at like 20%, making it less likely for people to get prizes after they pay? Machines can also be programmed to drop prizes early before they reach the chute, even if they start out with a rare firm grasp. Some players are even addicted to them, dropping their entire savings in arcades. So many places around the world actually treat them like slot slot machines, and it is considered gambling. And that would prohibit the arcades within 50 meters of schools after reports found that kids were blowing all of their lunch money. And they would constantly do this and not really get any prizes, or like the 23rd person who played would get a prize. So now let's talk about Annabelle in the claw machine. If you did not know, Annabelle is an allegedly haunted Raggedy Ann doll housed in the now closed occult museum of the paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Annabelle was moved there after supposed hauntings in 1970, and then a character based on the doll is one of the antagonists that appear in the Conjuring universe. So there's this story I found about a mother and daughter who went to an arcade in their town one afternoon, and the girl walked around playing with all the different machines, and just before they were about to go home, she saw a claw machine at the very back of the arcade. It was just completely lit up in the dark room, and it had these flashing lights around it that seemed to draw her closer, which is kind of what they're programmed to do. So she ran over, completely ignoring the calls from her mother, and she looked inside the glass case. There, stuffed between different colored plushies, was a strange doll that almost seemed to stare right through her. It had these wide eyes, two braids with red bows, and a white dress that looked like it came from the 1800s. She was confused as to why such a large, intricate doll was just stuffed between all these plushies. It just didn't seem to fit in at all. And it's important to note that this girl had never ever seen the Annabelle movies. So she honestly just thought that this was a random doll. So she begged her mother for some money, and her mother walked over to the case. She took a look at the doll and immediately told her daughter that it was way too creepy and that they should just go home. Well, the girl was really persuasive, so her mother finally gave her some money. She started the machine, and she found it really difficult to maneuver as they program it, and she tried her best to grab a hold of the doll with the claw, but instead she picked up a small teddy bear and had to go home without the strange doll. The next day, the girl once again begged her mother to take her to the claw machine. She ran into the arcade and passed some of the staff on the way, yelling to them that she's gonna go try to get the doll, and they looked completely confused by what she meant. When she approached the machine, she saw that the doll was even closer to the glass case than it was before. It was almost like it was pressing against the glass, trying to be released. And this time, she snatched it with the doll and dropped it through the chute right into her hands. As soon as they got home, the mother got a really strange vibe from the doll, but her daughter didn't really seem to notice. And for the next weeks after that, the mother would see the doll appear in different places around the house while her daughter was at school, and sometimes it really felt like she was being watched. The doll just seemed to stare at her, so she went online to see if she could find out where it came from. And sure enough, she discovered the haunting story of Annabelle. Of course, like I said, the original doll was a Raggedy Ann doll, but she saw that they had the version of the doll that appeared in the movies. She found tons of articles about people that owned a replica of the movie version and had really awful things happen in their house and in their lives. And even though it wasn't the real doll, it was like it was somehow still imitating the hauntings, which is really creepy. So she grabbed the doll and ran back to the arcade and walked up to the staff, and she told them that her daughter won this in the claw machine and that she wanted to give it back because she was so creeped out by it. And what was baffling is that none of the staff recognized it as being one of the prizes in the claw machine. They said they had never seen it before. So how did it get there in the first place? And that is how this story ends. I mean, I don't know how true it is. I don't know if it's a creepypasta, but I have heard a lot of people who have had the replicas have had really strange things happening. So that part is true. Anyways, though, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want me to do more videos on like nostalgic topics like the claw machine, it could be about toys, about anything else, give this video a thumbs up and let me know. And also, if you want to show any support for my channel at any time, it doesn't have to be in today's video, it could be in any video, check out that super thanks button and I will definitely reply to the comment that you leave. But yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!